Have you ever wondered what really separates people who succeed from those who just don't? Well, according to author John C. Maxwell, it's not talent, it's not luck, and it's definitely not your circumstances. It's something way more fundamental, something every single one of us has complete control over, our thinking. So today, we're going to dive deep into this powerful idea that you can literally change your entire life just by changing your mind.
But first, I want to start with a really important question. I want you to take a second and look at your life right now. Your work, your daily grind. Does it ever feel like you're climbing this ladder of success, working so hard, only to look up and realize it's leaning against the completely wrong wall? Are you just busy, but not actually fulfilled? If that sounds familiar, that's what it feels like to be playing the wrong game. Okay, so that feeling, that sense of being on the wrong path, it often leads to this critical moment, right? A wake-up call that pretty much forces us to stop and reevaluate everything. And that's exactly where this journey from just being busy to being truly fulfilled really begins.
And this really captures that feeling, doesn't it? That sense of being stuck, just living in the weeds. This is exactly what happens when you're not operating in your genius zone. And what's that? Well, it's that sweet spot where your natural gifts, your passions, and the impact you have all come together. But when you're in the weeds, you're just reacting to your day, right? You're filling your time with all these tasks that just drain you, and at the end of it all, you're busy, sure, but you feel empty. When you play the wrong game for long enough, there are always consequences. There just are. For some people, it's a health scare. For others, it's a career setback or maybe a personal crisis. But, and this is so important, this wake-up call isn't the end of the world. It's not a disaster. It's actually a second chance. It's that moment where the world kind of stops spinning for a second, and you finally get the space to ask yourself, okay, what am I going to do differently now?
So, the answer to that big question, it isn't found in, packing up and changing your job or your city, at least not right away. The real answer is found in something much closer to home. It's all about this foundational truth, the power of your own thoughts. John C. Maxwell has a name for this. He calls it good thinking. And listen, this isn't about how high your IQ is or what college you went to. It's a discipline, something any of us can learn. Think of it like this. You're intentionally directing your focus. So instead of letting your mind just wander off into worry and doubt, you actively choose to focus on solutions, on possibilities, on the things you can actually control. And that discipline, it becomes like the invisible architect of your life. It's the foundation that every single good result is built on. It's the real secret sauce, the true common denominator of success.
Oh, I just love this analogy. It's so simple but so incredibly powerful. Think about it. The results you see in your life, your career, your health, your relationships, that's your crop. Now, if you're not happy with the harvest you're getting, you can't just stand there and wish for different vegetables, right? No, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and plant different seeds. And what are those seeds? They're your thoughts. And this leads to a super simple but really powerful logical step-by-step that for a lot of people is a genuine aha moment. Okay, so we often feel like we're just victims of our emotions, don't we? Like feelings just happen to us. But this logic, it flips that whole script on its head. The real power isn't in trying to fight your feelings. The power is in directing your thoughts, because your thoughts are what create those feelings in the first place. And that right there is the master key to taking back control. And look, this isn't just some feel-good philosophy. It's a real, practical, step-by-step process. Realizing you can control your thoughts, that's the spark. But this process we're about to look at, that's the fire. It shows you exactly how changing your thinking sets off this incredible chain reaction that can totally reshape your reality. It's like this massive domino effect, and it all starts with just one tiny, intentional change in how you think. So let's take an example. Maybe you change the thought from, I'm not qualified for that promotion, to something like, what skills do I need to become qualified? See that shift? That little change in thinking completely changes your belief about what's possible. That, in turn, raises your expectations for yourself, which naturally improves your attitude. A can-do attitude changes your behavior. Suddenly you're signing up for courses or looking for mentors. And of course, those new behaviors directly improve your performance, which, well, ultimately changes your entire life. But, okay, before you can even push that first domino over, you have to get your mindset right. There are 3 things you absolutely have to believe. First, that change is personal. I am the one who needs to change. It starts with me. Second, that it's possible. I am actually able to change. And third,
that it's profitable, meaning I will be rewarded for making this change. Seriously, without that foundation, the whole process it never even gets off the ground.
So, what is that reward anyway? What's the ultimate payoff for doing all this internal work? Well, it's not just about, getting a promotion or making more money. It's about something way, way more valuable. It's about freedom.
And that improved performance we talked about from that chain reaction, it's not some abstract idea. It translates directly into real, tangible results in the real world. And those results are what give you the freedom to design the life that you actually want.
What does that look like? Well, for one, it means achieving time freedom. That's where you are the master of your own schedule. You get to decide how to use your hours. It also means unlocking location freedom. The ability to live and work from literally anywhere you choose. You get to break free from those old school constraints of you have to be here. And it doesn't stop there. This journey also leads to creative freedom. This is all about getting back to operating in your genius zone, doing the work that lights you up and energizes you instead of draining you. And maybe most importantly, it supports health freedom, giving you the vitality and the energy to actually enjoy all these other freedoms you've created.
There's a reason health freedom is called the multiplier, and this is such a critical point. Just think about it for a second. What good is time freedom if you're too exhausted to actually use it? What good is location freedom if your body can't even get you there? Your health is the fundamental energy source that lets you enjoy all the other freedoms you've worked so incredibly hard to build.
So you see, it all comes back to this one incredibly powerful truth from John C. Maxwell. The life you are living right now, today, is a direct reflection of your thinking from yesterday. There's really no escaping that. But, and this is the amazing, empowering part, your future is a totally blank slate, and the pen is in your hand. This whole process of transformation, of freedom, of fulfillment, it all begins with a single conscious choice that you make. So when you boil it all down, the only question that really truly matters is this one. What will you choose to think today?